My name is Daniel, and when I was 12 years old, I believed I was a failure. I lived in a small town surrounded by hills and farms. Life was quiet. People woke up early, worked hard, and went to bed before the stars filled the sky. I went to a local school where everyone knew everyone. But I was the boy who couldn't study. The boy who always got low grades. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't focus. I would sit with my books, determined to learn. But after 10 minutes, my mind would wander. I'd stare out the window, think about the birds or the trees, or imagine stories in my head. Soon I would close my book and walk away. The teachers didn't have hope in me. They thought I was lazy. Some even said it to my face. My classmates laughed behind my back. A few were kind, but most avoided me. Became quiet. I started to believe the worst things they said. At home it wasn't much better. My parents were worried. They wanted me to do well. My father said, "You need to study harder." My mother tried to help, but after a while she gave up. They both looked disappointed every time I brought home my report card. I started to hate school. I started to hate myself. One day a friend of mine, Arjun, told me something that would change my life. "There's a Zen monk staying near our town," he said. "They say he's very wise. Maybe he can help you." I didn't believe it, but something inside me said, "What do you have to lose?" The next morning I walked to the place Arjun had told me about. It was early, and the sun was just rising. The road was quiet, and the air was cool. When I arrived, I saw an old man sitting under a tree. His eyes closed, breathing slowly. I waited. After a while, he opened his eyes and looked at me. His eyes were gentle but sharp. I didn't know what to say. So I sat down in front of him. Then, without meaning to, I started crying. "Please help me," I said. "I'm bad at studying. I try but I can't focus. I feel like I'll never succeed." He listened without speaking. When I finished, he smiled and said, "You are not alone, my child. Many students feel just like you." Then he said, "Let me teach you something. If you follow these steps, you will improve not only in school, but in life." I wiped my tears and nodded. "First," he said, "stop telling yourself that you are not worthy. Stop believing the voices that say you cannot learn. Our minds are powerful. If we believe we are weak, we become weak. If we believe we can grow, we begin to grow." He paused, letting the words settle. "You must train your mind to believe in yourself. That's where change begins. Second," he said, "you must learn to focus. And to focus, you must learn to breathe." He told me to sit still and breathe. Slowly, in and out. Nothing else. Just focus on the breath. "This is called meditation," he said. "Each time your mind runs away, gently bring it back to the breath. Do this for 5 minutes every morning." He also taught me a trick. Count backward from 50 as you breathe. Inhale, say 50 in your mind. Exhale, say 49. Then 48, 47. Down to 1. If you lose track, start again. This exercise, he said, will help you train your brain to concentrate. You will find that studying becomes easier. Third, he said, you need discipline. Create a routine. Wake up at the same time. Eat at the same time. Study at the same time. When your body and mind get used to a rhythm, you no longer fight with yourself. Studying becomes a habit, not a struggle. He looked at me and added, just like your body gets sleepy every night at the same hour, your brain can be trained to become ready for learning at a specific time, if you stick to your schedule. Fourth, he said gently, be present in your classroom. Most students daydream or look at the clock. They miss half of what the teacher says. If you stay focused in class and you truly listen, you won't need to study the same thing for hours at home. you'll understand it right away. And when you review it later, it will come back easily. He paused again, letting the silence teach me as much as his words. Fifth, he said, take care of your body and your mind. I looked up. I didn't understand. You cannot focus if your body is weak or your mind is tired, he explained. Eat good food. Not too heavy before you study. Include nuts, seeds, and fruits in your diet. Almonds soaked overnight. Pumpkin seeds. Dry fruits. They help the brain work better. He smiled. And don't forget to sleep. A tired brain cannot remember anything. Sixth, he said, you must move your body. Exercise every day. Even just 30 minutes. Walk, run, play a sport, or dance. A strong body supports a focused mind. I nodded again. He continued. Seventh, reduce distractions. Your study space should be quiet. Tell your family when you are studying so they respect your time. Don't study on your bed. That's a place for sleep, not work. Sit at a table. If you get tired, take a short break, 5 minutes. Stretch, walk, breathe, or listen to music. Then return. I listened carefully, holding on to every word. Finally, he said, take notes. Short, simple notes. Writing helps your brain remember. And when exams come, you'll already have everything you need. No need to panic. Then he looked into my eyes and said, Daniel, if you do these things, not only will your grades improve, but your confidence will rise. And when you believe in yourself, no one can stop you. I sat quietly. His words sank deep into my heart. I'll do it, I whispered. Start small, he said. One habit at a time. Be patient. Even a small step each day leads to great change. I stood up, bowed, and said thank you. That day I walked home differently. My shoulders were straighter. My eyes were open. I had hope. The next morning I woke up early. I sat on the floor and counted my breath, just like he taught me. It was hard at first. My mind wandered. But I kept coming back to the breath. Then I ate a light breakfast, sat at the table, and studied for 30 minutes. No phone. No noise. Just me and my book. That evening, I wrote a simple study schedule and promised myself to follow it. The first week was difficult. I forgot sometimes. Felt like giving up. But I remembered the monk's words. Be patient. By the second week, something changed. My mind became calmer. Could focus longer. In class, I started understanding more. I even raised my hand to answer questions. One day, my teacher looked at me with surprise. Daniel, that's correct, she said. I smiled for the first time in school. 3 months later, I got my report card. My marks had improved. Not perfect, but better. My parents smiled. My classmates were shocked. One of them even asked, "What happened to you?" I just said, "I started believing in myself." Today I am 18 years old. I'm preparing for college entrance exams. I study every day with focus and discipline. And every morning I still sit and count my breath. Sometimes when I feel tired or lost, I remember the old monk under the tree. His calm voice. His kind eyes. I think of that morning, the moment my life began to change. And I remind myself, I am not weak. I am not broken. I am becoming the person I was always meant to be. So if you are reading this or listening, and you feel like you can't focus or you're not good enough, please remember this. You can change. Start with one small habit. One moment of breathing. One page of study. One belief in yourself. And keep going. Because even the smallest step, taken every day, leads to something powerful. That's how I changed my life. And so can you. Have you ever struggled with focus or confidence in school? What small habit helped you become better? Share your story in the comments. Like this video if it inspired you. Subscribe to AV Flourish for more emotional English stories that help you grow. And share this with someone who needs a little hope today.